Okay, I'm going to show you today how to plant the seeds into the pots that you receive from the herb garden kit that you just received in the mail. So first, I want to show you your soil. Now this is dehydrated organic soil. So what you're going to do is reconstitute this soil just like you would reconstitute dehydrated milk. So in this packet, with this package, you're going to put it into a bucket. Now this particular little container is too small because this is going to end up giving you about 5 to 6 cups of soil. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put this soil into a container, into a bucket, and you're going to put about 2 3/4 to 3 cups of water into your soil. And you're going to let the soil soak up the water. Be patient because it'll take a few minutes. And basically what you're going to do is, let me get my pots out of the way here. What you're going to do is you're going to basically kind of break the soil up in with the water until it's broken down into basically little fragments of dirt, right? And so just be patient. It's kind of fun, but dirty, so you might want some gloves. That's a thought. But here, even I have a few little chunky pieces, which is okay. It's not going to hurt anything. If you have a few little chunks, that's not a big deal. Don't feel like you have to break up every single little piece of chunky soil you've got, because you'll have plenty of moisture in the soil. So when it's done, you're going to have this beautiful organic soil that's full of worm composting and all sorts of really healthy additives that will do wonders for your herbs. So then what you'll do is you're going to take and fill up each of your pots with the soil. You can see I already had a couple filled up, so I didn't make you walk through every single one of these pots with me. So not totally filled up, but you have an idea, right? And so now what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at the back of your seed packets. This is important because each seed packet of every variety ever has different instructions on it. Now most of these herbs have pretty similar instructions, but it's still important that you go and take a look at them. What you want to know right now today first is what your planting depth is, because that will tell you how deep into the soil you want to put your seed. And then you also want to know days to germination. That will tell you how long it will take for your seedlings to appear in your pots. So I'm going to put these in here because, as you can see, I'm actually I have my sewing mat down here. I was too lazy to move it, so I'm just going right over the top of it. So we're going to start with chives. And when I look at the seed packet, the back of the seed packet, it tells me that it wants a planting depth of 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Okay, so now these seeds are they're kind of small. Not kind of small, they are small. So here are the seeds right here, and I have 3 chive seeds, and they're little teeny things, right? And so what it recommended was a planting depth of 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. So I think you can assume 1/4 inch is probably, maybe around to the middle of your fingernail tip right there. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to put a little hole down into, so let me flatten this back out again. So we have this soil, right? I'm just going to put a little hole, and I went to here to my first knuckle. And then what you want to do is you want to put 2 seeds in. Now you can't see it because I've got my finger around them, right? But I'm going to put both of my little seeds down in there, and I just covered it right back up. And then my 3rd seed, because I don't want to lose any of these valuable seeds, I put it back into my chive. So now technically this is planted, and because this soil is wet, already moist, we're gonna do a little spray. I forgot a spray bottle, but I'm gonna do a little spray and moisten it down a little bit more. But it's actually good. So I paused it for a second, realizing that I forgot a really critical piece that we need to get these seeds to sprout for us. Saran wrap. This is basically cling wrap. So what you're going to do is you're going to take cling wrap, right? Saran wrap. You're going to pull a piece off. I also went ahead and got my trusty water bottle. So I'm going to spray the top of this, right? Give it a little bit more moisture because we want that humidity in there. Okay, well, let me rephrase that. We want humidity because we want the moisture to warm the soil enough to get our seeds to sprout for us. So now I'm going to take my cling wrap here and I'm going to cover the pot up. Now, does it have to be super tight? It does not. Because you see I'm leaving the label in, right? So there's actually a little bit of a gap where the chives label is kind of sticking out, but I'm leaving it just like that. And this is what it's going to look like, right? And we're just going to basically let it sit like this. And then in, say, let's see what the back of the envelope says, in about 14 days, we should see a little chive seedling coming up. That's what we're hoping for, right? So if you're in an area that is really dry, so I'm from Arizona originally, so if you're in an area of the country that's pretty dry, then you might need to go ahead and spray the top of the soil every couple of days to keep it moist. But chances are you'll be okay. So now I'm going to do the oregano, okay? So this was a planting depth of 1/4 inch. Oregano oregano seeds are microscopic. You can't even see them really. They look like little dirt pieces right here, right? So basically what I'm going to do, it said to do a planting depth of 1/4 inch, but they're so small, I'm just going to kind of drop the ones that fell onto my hand. Ooh, I have one little straggler there. And then I'm just going to kind of move this soil around a little bit. Here it's a little uneven. So I just moved that soil around a little bit, and then I'm going to spray, right? Because this is important too. We want the soil and the seeds to be in contact. So now what I'm going to do is just do a little tamp. I'm tamping down with my fingers very gently, okay, very gently. We don't want to squish it down. And then I'm going to get off what I could. And then I'm going to, here I have my oregano label right here, right? So I'm going to put that right there. You can see I put that in there. And then I'm going to pull out my cling wrap, cut off my little piece, or tear off my little piece again. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover my oregano up. See? And then we're just going to set that aside. That'll be up front there. So there you can see the oregano, the chives are all right there. And then I'm just going to basically keep going. So oregano's done. Here's parsley. Parsley is great. I love fresh parsley. So parsley's a little bit larger. They're kind of an interesting color. They're kind of green too, a gray-green. So here are my parsley seeds. Little teeny guys right there, right? And so it wants me to plant it 1/4 inch depth. So here I'm evening my soil out a little bit. I'm gonna do my little hole just down to my first knuckle again, right? And that might actually be a little bit too much. Let's do half of my knuckle. Okay, and then I'm going to take 2 of my seeds. I'm going to drop them in the hole right there. And then I'm going to cover it back up again. Let me put these little guys here. Okay, so parsley's done, right? Now, I'm going to spray. Get out my cling wrap. Try to get it to behave itself. This is the downside to cling wrap, right? And, oh, hold on. I forgot to make a little label. So I'm going to make a new little label. What you get in the kit are blank labels, right? And so I just use my Sharpie and I write on there parsley. You can even use a pencil on these. I have a master gardener friend who uses a pencil to write on all hers. That way she can reuse her tags anytime she wants. Frankly, I like the colors, so I do it because I like the colors. So I put my little parsley tag in, and here's my saran wrap that's all sorts of messed up. Okay, well, tell you what, we will fight that battle at another time. So there's parsley, there it is right there. Now I'm going to do basil, fresh basil, also the most amazing thing ever. So basil is larger. It actually came out quite a bit bigger. So you can see those two basil seeds. According to the seed packet back, we want a 1/4 inch. Oh, here, I'm trying to turn that the right way. We want a 1/4 inch planting depth. So I'm going to even my soil out here. I'm going to do my little hole. I'm going to put my 2 basil seeds in it. I'm going to cover my little hole up. And then spray my soil there, and then I'm going to saran wrap this one too after I put my label in right there. So this one is all skewed too, but that's okay. In reality, it doesn't really matter as long as it covers the top of the pot. That's the important part, right? We want the majority of the pot covered. You can see that I put the saran wrap over it. And then I'm just going to very gently move these after they're done. You could put all of these, if you have a south-facing window that gets a really good amount of daylight, and you want hours of daylight. You want, 6 to 8 hours of daylight for your seedlings. And here's the thing too, you don't want a really cold windowsill either. So if it is January and you live in Minnesota, it might be a little cold for your seedlings on that windowsill. So you might want to put them, you can buy warming mats, electric warming mats. They're kind of expensive, but you could buy one of those. I actually have grow lights, and I grow my seedlings under my grow lights. So, and I give you some example grow lights in my guide at the end of my guide. So I give you, well, actually my grow lights guide will give you recommendations for grow lights. So I am labeling cilantro because that is our next and final culinary seed to plant. Frankly, these are my favorite. Boy, do I love cilantro. Now, cilantro is an interesting one. You'll see in a second. Cilantro is also known as coriander. So if you're familiar with coriander, these are basically coriander seeds, but it's also cilantro. And so this is what we're planting. This says a planting depth of a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Here, right there. So 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. So because these seeds are so big, we're going to go ahead and do the 1/2 inch. So I'm going all the way down to, for sure, that first knuckle of mine right there. And then I'm going to put my 2 little seeds down in there and covered it up. I'm going to give it a little spray. This could almost use a little bit more of a little spray, but that's all right because the soil is wet. You just reconstituted it. And here is my fun label right there. And then I'm going to put the saran wrap on there. And there you go. Now your seeds are planted. So now what you're going to do, like I said before, is you're going to find a nice sunny spot. You want a south-facing window, that's the best. You could do east in the morning, west in the afternoon if you want to rotate them around, or if you want to go ahead and pick up a grow light. I did not include grow lights in this kit because I just don't know who has what windows. You know, some people may have plenty of windows and you don't need a grow light. I, on the other hand, did, because I have one south-facing window and it has a bunch of trees in front of it, so it doesn't get a whole lot of sun during the day. So there you go. This is how to plant your seeds. I hope you have a lot of fun doing it, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.